Welcome back, everybody, to the show. I am your host, as always, Jay Villain, aka That Villain Jay, and with me, as always, is your fantabulous, wondrous, mythic, mono black gym leader co-host, Numbskull, the numbest of skulls. There he is.
Hey guys.
Currently number 5 mythic rank.
No, man, I'm in diamond still.
You're in diamond. Oh, okay. Well, it's been a good run. We had a good time doing this podcast. Just like to say it was nice while it lasted.
I got my new job, and I haven't had.
Listen, man, you need to abandon your responsibilities to start doing what we need to be doing here, man. This is not.
Hey, I have weekends off. I can grind pretty hard this weekend, man.
Yeah. Okay. Well, all right. Listen. For real though, I don't have. I'm. What am I? Diamond 3? I mean, plat 3. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't even get to. I don't even get to talk about it.
Get out of plat the next 5 or 10 days. You'll be fine. You'll have plenty of time to get to mythic and then mess around.
I figure that. I figure that I have time because the meta is going to shift seismically. When the new set drops, like it's gonna be pure chaos.
And that's a cool way to play it too. You either get to mythic before everything changes and then you can kind of just try out stuff, or you just say, hey, I'm just gonna take it easy and not sweat it too much because it's all gonna change in like less than 2 weeks. It's kind of how you want to do it, and maybe like how it changes, maybe you don't.
There's always the people that are going to be the resist. There's going to be the people that won't stop playing Selesnya enchantments. No matter
I think
what.
those are going to be long gone after this freaking power creep.
No, they'll never stop. And when it rotates out, they're just going to go to mythic. Listen, those Selesnya enchantment people are locked in, man. They're locked in. They've found what works.
They'll play actual enchantress in historic then.
Possibly,
hopefully they've earned enough rare wild cards to just go play it in historic.
Yeah, I mean, possibly. We don't know. It's hard to say. They might just play Sparky with that and just play against them. They might just keep going, and they love it. They can't stop. Won't stop.
No.
So that's fantastic. We're both climbing up there, as we know, as we alluded to. March of the Machine is coming, guys, and if you've seen this thumbnail, if you've seen this title, we weren't planning on doing this until closer to release. It's only coming out in a couple of days, but March of the Machine coming. We have pretty big news in case you haven't heard it yet. Pretty big news, guys. Collectively, Numbskull and myself have both been invited to pre-release. Yes, the entire Black Council will be at pre-release for March of the Machine. Numbskull will be streaming it. I will be streaming it and making videos. And we said, man, if we don't do a joint Black Council video during pre-release, when we have access to the whole set of cards, and maybe we'll do a best of 3 battle against each other. I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do, but we said let's move up the day we do our standard top 10 or top 11, and get these guys some pre-release action here. So if you want to hit that, make sure that you're following the Black Council. Make sure that you're subbed, that you're following me and Numbskull on Twitch, twitch.tv/thatvillainj, twitch.tv/num_skull_. The links will be in the description, because you will be able to see all the cards, all the builds, everything that you could possibly want before it even hits stores. You'll hear what our assessment is, and what we like, what we don't like, and we will be putting out an exclusive episode of pre-release, deck building, all kind of stuff for you as it goes. So very excited about the Black Council is in the pre-release. We are been invited to the program. Fantastic stuff. We love it. We're happy. We're excited. We're stoked.
And if anybody was confused, pre-release is synonymous with early access.
Early access. Sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. Early access. I was saying pre-release like an idiot. Early access.
That's what you've probably seen it advertised as early access. It does in a way act as pre-release though.
So pre-release, similar, the reason I'm getting messed up, when you go to the store, that's what you get.
Yeah, you go to your LGS, you can do a draft like a week early or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, usually usually when it comes out on Arena is like right around the time they're doing pre-releases, or like either
Yeah.
a couple days before or a couple days after they did the pre-release. I'm not exactly sure when LGSs are doing pre-release this time around. I just know Arena's the 18th. So by the time this debuts, you'll have like 10 days or so, maybe something like that. So just, be ready for it.
Oh yeah. So I would keep an eye out. It's going to be really good. We're going to do some special stuff for you. It's going to be great. And we're super excited about that. And if you want to see the episodes early, well, there's a way you can actually see the episodes early.
Oh yeah.
It's by becoming a patron. Numbskull, I think it's actually your turn this time to
I'm
say
loading
thank
it
you
up
to all our
right
patrons.
now. Yeah, guys, as little as $1 a month, you can patronize the council. Get access to our members only tournament for the Black Council. We now have 20 active patrons, so we will be figuring that out still as well. And yeah, we'll be doing like an invite only tournament. It will be for patrons. I don't know if we have the format figured out just yet, but we will figure it out.
It's definitely, I think it's going to be standard. I don't know if we're going to do artisan or not. And I think we're going to probably do standard, maybe Grand Prix style. We're kind of trying to work it out with the schedule of our patrons as well. It's definitely going to be on a weekend. It's going to be on like a Sunday or a Saturday.
Yeah.
So if you want to get involved in that, you want to get access to the exclusive Discord, early access to all the videos, become an active member of the Black Council. We'd love to have you there.
Beautiful. So we will thank our patrons now. We have Mother of Steel. Is that a new patron?
That's a new patron. Yeah, he's only been a couple weeks maybe.
Okay. And then W. Taylor. We got Sechuan Anon, King Leo, Elvin Breams, Xylo, Jamel, Stumpa, T-Rex, Magic Studios, or Magic Shark rather, Lord Gypticus, Mamulian, Cassius, Nickel Nuts, H-Man, Ulfveer, Dante Valentine, Clever, Blood Chief, and of course, last but not least, our favorite mod, Paradab.
Yes, and not just one Dabo, but a pair of them.
Pair of a dose. Yeah. But yeah, we really appreciate you guys, and getting us to 20 is not something that we thought would happen at all, and we definitely didn't think it would happen this quickly, and we're really thankful. And
absolutely,
definitely that's like really motivated us to want to keep doing this, and undoubtedly without question do what we can to get you guys your content weekly going forward. It's really rewarding from you guys, and we love the support, and it's helping us out. It's also making sure that we can get the stuff that we need on Arena to keep bringing you this. And that we don't miss out when stats drop. You guys being patrons is really going to help us out. On that day I talked about on the 18th, Jay and I are gonna be able to do pack openings for you guys and this and that and whatever, and probably like giveaways for packs, things of that nature. You guys all directly help out with that, and we really can't thank you enough. So thank you guys again.
That what I did, I'll tell you, right when the Patreon money hit for this month, I turned around and bought the pre-release.
You did them pre-orders.
I bought the $50 pre-release right when the Patreon money hit. That's where it goes right back into the show. So I'm not it's an investment into making good content for you guys and making roundtable content. We want to know what you want to see, what you want to hear. We want to hear from you in the Discord. We want to hear what you want to hear feedback from you, and that's why I think we're going to take some ideas in the Discord of decks you want us to build, or maybe decks that for pre-release. If you want to see how a card works, you want to see how it plays out, we might even do a Patreon exclusive. Hey, make me a deck with can we see a deck with XYZ card just so I see mechanically how it works?
Yeah, sure.
So we could probably do something special for patrons if you want to sign up there. So
as little as $1 a month.
Little as $1 a month. That's all it takes to support your
not even an episode, just a month.
Just a month.
But yeah. With that said, Jay and I each have a top 5 for you, and then we have a collective top 1.
The top one.
the top one, and a lot of you could probably guess what it's going to be.
You can probably guess what it is. If you want to write it in chat, you want to leave a comment.
We rather quickly agreed on what our top one was.
Yeah, top.
Yeah. So I won't give any other details, but we will begin our top five. Each of us here. We'll go 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1, and then the top one.
Then the top one. We would pretty accurate. we got about, I would say we went about 6 out of 10 last time with Venerated Rot Priest.
With like cards that we thought would actually be good.
Yeah, we did a pretty good job last time. Sheldred's Edict. Some of them were stinkers, but we did pretty good. So we're usually keep our ear to the ground about these ones.
Absolutely.
Numbskull, would you like to go first?
Sure, I got you.
All right, he's gonna go first.
I'm starting with Final Flourish.
Flourish.
Yeah, and this isn't something that we went over yet. I think this is a newer spoiler here. It's a 2 mana. It's a colorless and a black. Looks like there's a vampire and maybe somebody else on the art there. I'm not sure who these individuals are. Actually, looks like it's something about Strixhaven, actually. But anyway, it is an instant. It's a common as well, which is kind of interesting. It's one of those cards that has like the kind of hidden value to it, so just keep that in mind. It has Kicker. We're bringing back, well, we're not bringing it back, but we are using Kicker. The Kicker is sacrifice an artifact or creature. All right. But the main text of it is target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. You may say, well, that's pretty weak. But if it was kicked, this creature gets -6/-6 until end of turn. And if you play a mono black deck, or you play a Rakdos deck, or you play Orzhov, whatever, you're going to have stuff to sacrifice. You're going to have some artifacts.
You're going to have things that you want to sacrifice.
You're going to have things that you benefit from sacrificing.
Absolutely.
Or that, or that your opponent gets penalized when you sacrifice it, which is technically to your benefit. But, like I'm just thinking alchemy, sack a blood token with my sanguine brushstroke out. I'm 2-for-1ing, you're losing a life and your creature gets negatives. I kill your Sheldred for 2 mana. I kill whatever. -6/-6 kills damn near everything. So for 2 mana, instant speed feels really good. Gets around indestructible, gets around a lot of that stuff. We have those Thanes that we were talking about that can add indestructible counters to themselves as well. And this also would get around that.
Also kill an Archfiend of the Dross.
Archfiend of the Dross, yep. So just a nice card. And maybe it allows you to swap it for Go for the Throat and then not feel bad because you can kill artifacts with this card as well. Most artifact creatures would also die to this. And then you don't have to play Infernal Grasp and actually lose life. So that's actually kind of a swing there. If you make your opponent lose a life because you sacked a blood token, then they lose a life and they lose a creature rather than they lose a creature and you lose 2 life. It turns into a 2-for-1 instead of a 1-for-1. So kind of like that little 3-life swing right there. Little things like that can matter, especially when you're only doing it for 2 mana.
Absolutely. And also, I think it's important to bring up, this is a common. This is cheap. Yeah. Everyone's going to have access to this. Yeah, I mean,
sick draft card, dude.
Draft card. If we have some budget players out there who don't have the wilds, man, this is an easier removal to get into the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I know we like to, Jay and I sling these expensive spells. We love our $70 Sheldreds, and we love our I don't even know who else is expensive. That's a card, but we like our top tier mythic and rare black cards that are either expensive in the game or expensive in paper too, or both.
Mm-hmm.
So we both of us kind of like to give you something that's throw you a bone here with commons and uncommons that we think are going to be useful. I am afraid that this time when I made my decisions, though, I think all the rest are rares.
Mine
are higher.
I'll be honest, mine are mostly rare because
Are they?
There's a lot of I'll say
There's a lot of good
March of the
stuff,
Machine,
man.
the power
Yeah.
level keeps moving back up again. We're swinging a lot of shit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You're gonna have to, burn some wild cards on this set. It feels like, doesn't it?
We're going in. Yeah.
You're gonna have to bring that. I mean, hey, we've said it before. This is a war.
This is a war.
All the chips are on the table, so you gotta play ball too. So, but yeah, that's my first one, and I think it's a good start.
Very good start. Set the theme of the night. My first one is, and the only reason I'm putting her down as far as I am, because I'm a bit worried about her casting cost, but I am going to bring in another lovely goth girl, maybe one of my new favorite ones, Archpriest of Shadows. 2 black, 3, 4/4 human warlock, death touch. In the art, she looks like an e-girl. She has that e-girl makeup on, which is funny to me. She has like that blush over her cheeks and the dark streak over her nose. So you got a goth e-girl here, which I gotta pick that just on art alone. Backup 1. So the way backup 1 works is that the person who gets cast after this, what is it? Is the person who gets cast after this gets their death touch and +1, I believe.
Look up. Creature in battlefield on target creature. No. You put it on one that's already there, and then if it's another creature, then it gets her ability, which is death touch.
Yeah. Okay. Whenever a creature with backup enters the battlefield, you put that many 1/1 counters in target creature, and then they get that ability.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she gets backup 1, so she'll put a 1/1 counter on whoever comes in afterwards, or themselves, I think. Either way, it's going to be interesting. We're going to have to work out mechanically how exactly that works, because I feel like until you actually see it played out, you don't know how good it is. And then she has death touch, which is always nice. Then she has, whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player or a battle, return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. Now, this isn't return a card to your hand. This is to the battlefield. Phyrexian Flesh Gorger, battlefield. We're talking about Toxrill, battlefield. If she does damage, how do we get her out quicker? Numbskull had a really great idea. Do her with Umezawa and ninjutsu her in for cheap. Give everybody ninjutsu, run her in Dimir, sneak her in, hit somebody. You could have already self-milled or discarded, and bring somebody into the battlefield almost immediately for cheap. Get that damage off, and just go wild.
And you still get the backup ability too.
You still get the backup ability. So I mean, still talking about a middle to late game constant resurrection. I mean, I like her in even Golgari. If I put trample on her and I'm swinging every turn and trampling over it, because all I need to do is 1 point of damage.
Yeah, death touch and trample.
All I need to do is 1 point of damage, and someone's coming back from the battlefield. Someone comes back from the graveyard. So mass necromancy from this lovely gothy girl here. I'm a little worried about her casting cost. We'll have to see if it's viable. We'll have to maybe run some protection for her, which maybe makes me think that Orzhov or Golgari might be the best bet.
Yeah,
but I'm definitely excited to see what she can do.
Yeah, I think she's great. Yeah, I was trying to convince Jay that it was a good card, and I was like, listen, just ninjutsu it. It's cool.
Oh yeah, the ninjutsu idea was not mine. That was Numbskull all the way there, and I didn't think about that.
So I was like, just do that. Right. It's okay.
Just ninjutsu. Yeah, run Dimir. So that's a great one.
Yeah, I think she's good. All right, let's go to. I have the next one, Pelukranos, and this is my token non-black card.
He went his original list was all black, by the way, guys.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I gotta get a black card in here, dude, or a freaking something other than a black card. All right, Pelukranos Reborn. We talked about him in the last episode that we did with spoilers.
Yeah.
I was just telling Jay was like, oh, what do you like about that one? And I was just saying, it brings me back to a different time in Magic. 10 years ago, just simpler times in the world, man. I was freaking. My rent was $300. Didn't have a car payment. Life was just didn't have to pay for health insurance. My life was just a lot simpler, and you could just hang out with your buddies and freaking, drink a little bit and do other things and play Magic and
just game.
Just chill, man. And it was cool. And you know, the world wasn't as crazy as it is now. You don't have to worry about so much stuff. And cards like this, you know, Hydras were more of a thing back in that time, especially when you're making all these tokens, which is the flip side of the Engine of Ruin. Once Polukranos is a Phyrexian, you're making these 3/3 Hydras, a green one and a white one. I was telling him I had a buddy. He had like a Selesnya kind of like populate token deck, and he'd make all these Hydras and worms and stuff, and just have this crazy engine. Every turn he's just like making an 8/8 worm that's swinging at you, and just things like that, you know. So it just kind of like reminded me of those days. And I actually hung out with that guy. We were talking about the decks we were working on and stuff now, and I showed that to him because he made a mono green commander, and I was like, dude, when this comes out, you have to add him just because it's a 3-mana 4/5 with reach. Even if you don't even flip him, there's your crazy power creep for strong green creatures right there.
Yeah,
you know, even if you never flip them, who cares? You got a 3-mana 4/5, and you're playing green, like mono green. So the 3 forests and the color and the casting cost, you don't really care. So yeah, I think it'll be a good card. It's, you know, helps mono green out a little bit. I think Polukranos, excuse me, I'm glad he's joined the battle, and he's definitely stronger when you flip him. But even if you don't flip him, I mean, on turn 3, you know, a lot of decks are going to have a hard time like killing you with creatures and getting past that, especially if you're on the play.
Yeah.
So,
and I think that
kind of like Old Growth Troll, but you know, like think about how hard it was to beat Mono Green when they would just play an Old Growth Troll on turn 3. Well, this is even stronger now, and then it flips eventually. So it's like,
yeah,
it's crazy.
And I think that the flexibility of having that Selesnya cost be Phyrexian, he can go in any deck. You don't need to play him Selesnya. Just you know.
Yeah, with these creatures that transform, so to speak, don't feel like you're bound to the 2 colors that they are. You can play them in a mono deck. You can play them in, well, I think some of them might, the regular casting cost might be more than 1 color, but you know what I mean? Whatever the Phyrexian mana is, you don't actually have to run that color, you know? But what's also cool is, you know, that makes him an interesting possible commander too on turn 3. It allows you to play Selesnya with your commander deck if you want to do that. You know what I mean? So a lot of these guys have that little thing that they snuck in there that gives you some extra options, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, for Stompy, I think it is a solid. And even for Hydra decks, you're running Historic or anything like that, Hydra decks, it is really going to be very useful. Because that secondary ability that on the backside, it's anytime another Hydra, non-token Hydra gets hit. It's not just Polukranos.
Yeah, it's serious. So hopefully, like maybe they'll start releasing like more Hydras. So that would be cool.
Yeah,
didn't have
gotta stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think he's great. And Polukranos was always a fun, you know, like beast of a creature. It's just like, okay, well, we're excited to hear what he's gonna do in the next set. You know what I mean? We're always like kind of looking forward to a new version of that.
All right. Well, pretty good. I'm excited about that one too, because I like to run Stompy Green. My number 4 spot is going to be Invasion of Gobekhan. Yay. Nobody even knows where Gobekhan is. That's the one where you make light shields. We had a weird character show up in War of the Spark who was from Gobekhan. We haven't really been there yet. It's a desert world that everything is covered in sandstorms, and the light shield wielders have to go in, and people use the Planeswalker. I can't remember his name. But he like protected people in what was his name? Teo Verada. That's what it was. Teo, he was a Planeswalker. Yeah, people used to run Teo. He was pretty good. He was a shield mage. He got randomly pulled into the War of the Spark. So Gobekhan is one of the ones that I like for. I can really vibe with it as an invasion. Why? Well, I want to try an invasion card. This is a cheap invasion, which I feel like it's pretty cheap. It's only 1 white and 1 to put down, and it is a battle. So that means that it has a 3 on it. Its battle number is 3. It has 3 battle points or whatever the hell they're calling. So an opponent has to protect it. You and others can attack it. When it's defeated, exile it, then cast it transformed. When Invasion of a Golbakhan enters the battlefield, look at target opponent's hand. You may exile a non-land card from it for as long as that card remains exiled. Its owner may play it as spell cast this way, costs 2 more. So it's a lockout. You look at a whole person's hand on turn 2. You take a look at their whole ass hand, choose one, and one of them is just 2 more expensive. Boom. So you have that lockout ability right there immediately, which is very useful. It's kind of like a what's that one called? Archpriest
Spellbinder.
Yeah, elite spell. It's like a little elite spellbinder. And that's not it, guys. We have a bonus. If you do manage to get it flipped, guess what you have? You have Light Shield Array, which is an enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, put a 1/1 counter on each creature that attacked this turn. So every single creature that attacked, if they're still alive, Light Shield Away will pump them for 1/1. Talking about swarm decks, talking about a lot of token decks, yikes, bro. That's a lot. Then, not only that, but wait, there's more. I'm selling the infomercial here. You could sacrifice this enchantment. Creatures you control gain hexproof and indestructible until the end of turn. That is a board wipe cancellation card right there, guys. Mm-hmm. Can I tell you how valuable board wipe cancellation cards are? When
instant
they
speed
cannot
too.
Instant speed sacrifice board wipe cancellation card, they are not sweeping you out. They're not doing anything to sweep you out. The only thing they can do is mass exile, maybe. But that is unbelievably powerful, especially on a block. You receive an entire block and just say, okay, everyone blocks. They all are invincible. All right, it's my turn again. Like, yikes, bro. Very good flip card. We're going to have to wait. That's why it's number 4. We're going to have to wait and see how easy it is to flip. But even its front side, as just a lockout, is pretty useful and pretty cheap as it is. So I'm excited about that one. I think I'm definitely going to be playing that in some Orzhov Death and Taxes.
I think some crazy interaction that I can immediately see is, maybe you play it in like a Boros deck and someone declares attacks. Your opponent declares attacks. And then you hit it with like a lightning strike and you flip it.
You flip it.
And then you just block everything and then sack it. And they tapped out thinking they're going to kill all your creatures and none of your creatures died and then they're tapped out.
Yeah,
you could really catch somebody slipping with this card, man.
You could absolutely catch someone, like you said, with the Boros, immediately pop it, say, oh, I pop it, flip it, sack it. Guess what? 2 mana, I instantly have protection from everything. And you thought, your burn down the house was going to work or something like that. And it's like, things have gone from bad to worse here. So for sure, I definitely think there's going to be some use to get out of this one.
And I also like with the new Elspeth, this would get reanimated with the ult.
It could.
So
it could get reanimated, for only 2 mana, you could bring it back with that Restoration of Jiganjgo if you wanted. 2 mana is pretty cheap.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So the Gonjo cards, Sarah Paragon. There's a few different things in white that allow you to recur this, and it's just adding to the already powerful mono white grinds. And you guys have all played against it. You know what we're talking about.
Oh yeah,
it's not fun to play against, but it's a damn good card no matter what kind of deck you put it in. That's awesome, Jay. I feel like I overlooked that, or maybe I just didn't see it yet. But that was a really good choice.
It was one that kind of snuck by because I don't think anyone knew, honestly, because the plane, nobody knows what the fuck plane that is. Like everyone knows Innistrad.
Yeah, nobody ever talks about it.
No, I don't think we've ever had a set there. We've only ever heard about it.
I gotcha. And it looks like it's mostly like humans, maybe that occupy.
Yeah, they live in the whole planet. The whole plane is like a horrible desert filled with sandstorms. So they do use these light shields to protect everyone.
Oh, it's like Dune.
Yeah, it's kind of going to be like a Dune planet, I guess. Like that's super cool. Deserty. Yeah.
Off topic. I'm ready for that. I'm ready for that other Dune, that second Dune movie.
I'm ready for Dune.
I'm so ready, dude. Yeah. That's so good. It was such a good movie.
Love that shit.
Anyway, sorry, not to get off topic, but damn, Dune was a good movie.
Oh, such a good movie.
I had to watch it in 2 parts because it was so long, but I was so ready to watch it both times. I didn't do it because I was bored, just because I ran out of time,
Oh, absolutely.
But next one I have, this will be the threes here.
Oh,
this is Grafted Butcher. Jay and I were oogling over this.
Yeah, we had to flip a coin to see who would get this one.
Yeah. So, and we're saying it's going to be your new 2-drop, especially if you run a lot of Phyrexians. It might overtake your underdog. We will see. So he's a 2-mana 2/2. He's a Phyrexian samurai. He's a rare,
Samurai.
notably not a legendary. So just keep that in mind. When he enters the battlefield, Phyrexians you control gain menace until end of turn. Cool. Other Phyrexians you control get +1/+1. Oh, so he's a lord. Oh, and he's not a legendary. Beautiful. 4 mana, sacrifice an artifact or creature, return Grafted Butcher from your graveyard to the battlefield, activate only as a sorcery. And what I just realized is he's like that 2-drop for the soldiers.
Yep.
I just realized that. Arguably better because he keeps coming back.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, sick card. Crazy 2-drop. We're talking about mono black aggro or Rakdos aggro. You know, you throw some haste stuff on there.
Oh yeah. Throw Phyrexian goblins at
Phyrexian goblins, that's crazy. Or just, you know, like the whole just like overwhelm them with Phyrexians and just it doesn't even have to be aggro, but you just get your value out of everything being a Phyrexian, you know, because of the synergy that's vastly accumulating with all of that. And
consider
for two. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Continue.
I was just gonna say, for 2 mana, I can't think of many cards that are better and do more than what this guy does. The only reason you might run underdog instead is because you're gonna get that card. That is the only reason, and I know that's important. So it kind of depends what you value and maybe what other draw engines you might have, but I see this just cleaning up. I think this card's great.
Yeah, what I was going to say is consider the fact that all those Phyrexian mites will get 1/1.
Yeah, all those little poison creatures are Phyrexians, aren't they?
Yeah. And Phyrexian Flesh Gorger all of a sudden is a 4/4 on turn 3.
Yeah.
He's a 4/4 on turn 3, which means that his ward is play 4 life now.
Yeah. It's impressive.
Yeah.
It's impressive. And then I know that Skrell's Hive makes the mites
every turn.
It does that, but it also after they're corrupted, it gives them lifelink.
Exactly.
So now you're gaining extra life when you're swinging in with those two. So yeah, this could be like Orzhov poison Phyrexians. That could be a thing.
Oh my goodness!
You know, you're gonna buff them all now. It's gonna be good, man.
And every turn you'll have a creature to sacrifice to bring him back.
Yeah, that too with Skrell's Hive.
With Skrell's Hive, he will create a artifact creature. So he's functionally immortal as long as you have 4 mana.
You better exile him.
You better exile him because he's eternal.
Yeah. See, like the ideas are already flowing, and we're just talking about it.
We're just talking. We'll have to do some early access with him.
Yeah, he's gonna be using early access for sure, man. You know that we're gonna make our new council mono black deck, but we're also gonna probably try some other things and or maybe Orzhov poison will be pretty lit. We'll see what happens. Orzhov Phyrexians too.
Orzhov Phyrexians for sure.
Feels like that can't be bad.
Oh no, yeah, no, that's gonna be really good. All right, yeah, no, I was jealous that Numbskull got that one, but I've got a good one too coming up. Okay. Oh, by the way, I also want to bring up, since he is a samurai, he will trigger all of the samurai and warrior things that we had from the Kamigawa set.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so if you have anything that's like whenever a samurai attacks, it gets +1/+1, or whenever sacrifice this creature, whatever. So he will get all those abilities too. So something else to bring kind of samurais back into the game. All right, so my number 3 is going to be 2 lovely women who I have deep and utmost respect for. This is my team up card. This is my ultimate team up card. Drana and Linvala, legendary creature, vampire angel. I play both of these cards. It could not be better than having them both together. You got the good, you got the bad. You got the vampire waifu, you got the angel waifu right there. 1 black, 2 white, and 1 vampire angel legendary creature. Flying vigilance 3/4. Guys, activated abilities of creatures your opponents control can't be activated. You kidding me?
That's beautiful.
Are you kidding me? That locks out
Planeswalkers.
activation. Oh no, it's only creatures.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah. I wish it was Planeswalkers. I think it would be overpowered if it was Planeswalkers.
Then it would
If you
be
had
like the old Karn.
Yeah, exactly. So mana rocks, no, you can't activate them. Phyrexian Evolve Sleeper, can't activate it. Any of those, any creature that has an inactivated ability, it cannot be activated. Vicious. Okay, we're not done. Drana and Lanvala has all activated abilities of opponents, of all the creatures your opponents control. You may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to activate those abilities. So
that's lit.
Anything that they have that's an activated ability is now yours, and they're locked out from it. Yeah. And we're going to be getting into some Phyrexian Praetors here soon. The new Phyrexian Praetors all have activated abilities. So if they're running a Praetor deck or they have an activated ability on a Praetor deck, they are locked out from their abilities, and you can cast it from any mana. That's a 4-drop Angel Vampire.
And don't forget, it's a 4 mana, 3/4 flying and vigilance. Usually 4 mana for just that's already enough.
Yeah.
And then you get like almost a paragraph worth of text with it.
Yeah.
Pretty damn good.
And if you're running Angels, guess what? What's that called? Giada helps cast that. Any kind of bonus.
Giada makes it 3 mana. And
Giada makes it 3 mana. It gets some counters on it. Any Angel buff up if you want to run Orzhov with it, throw Edgar in there. Edgar Charm Groon gives it +1/+1 as well. It's a vampire. So you've got an instant Angel Vampire deck that's going to lock things out. Mwah. Mwah. Chef's kiss. Love it.
That's
really
cool.
happy about those girls. And I like that they both have smug smiles on their face while they're doing their thing in the artwork, which is very important.
Yeah. I'm glad you chose the team up card because I sure didn't.
Yeah, I know you didn't get a team up card. I know. You don't really play too many multicolor.
No.
You don't really go for gold cards too much. I don't.
Although if I was gonna take one, I would probably take Rankle and Torbran. Just saying.
Oh yeah.
Because that's a pretty sweet combo there.
Okay.
Those two just wreak havoc on the game anytime they're out.
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, I'll do my number 2 then.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
We're getting there. This is Invasion of Fiora. And this is my selection for a battle card. Yes, it's a black card. And hold on, I'm scrolling up to it. Almost there. Basically, the way I'll describe it, it's Invasion of Fiora. It is a 6 mana spell, 4 colorless, 2 black. It is a board wipe. Does that remind you of any other board wipe? Blood on the Snow. It is blood on the snow at home. In my, at least as the battle, that's kind of what it is because it has the modality of choose. Well, it does say choose both, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
One or both. That's kind of nice. But what I like about it, you know what? Maybe it's not blood on the snow at home because it lets you do both.
Yeah.
But what I like about it is that this thing will absolutely demolish an Esper Legends deck.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness, bro.
Oh.
And you know, mono black, we think about it, the staples of the creatures that we get out. What's the only legendary that feels like a staple? It's Sheoldred, isn't it?
Sheoldred, that's pretty much it, yeah.
Otherwise, you got like Trespasser, you have Gorger, maybe you play Archfiend of the Dross, you have that 2-drop we were talking about, or maybe you play you play the underdog currently, maybe you play Evolve Sleeper, but it feels like we actually don't use that many legendaries. And maybe you play Junji, and then guess what? If you play Junji, you just reanimate something. So I don't know. It feels like this just absolutely shits on the Esper Legends, and I love that.
Yeah, they either have a Planeswalker, or they either have a counterspell or they're donezo.
Yeah, and a lot of those decks run Thalia, so they don't run counterspells.
Exactly.
You know, so yeah, you could really catch them slipping. I almost figure that archetype may just be discouraged by this card, or they're gonna have to rethink how they construct that deck. So that's pretty sweet. You can also do all legendary. So if you happen to be playing like a mono black legendary or like an Orzhov legendary, which is a thing, then you could just destroy all the ones that aren't legendaries. So that's interesting too. If you want to play like Gix, Sheoldred, Junji, what is it, Vran? I don't know if there's a 1-drop legendary, but you catch my drift.
Yeah.
There are enough decent mono black creatures to play all legendary if you want.
Yeah.
That said,
we're not even
also
done yet.
like we're like halfway done with this freaking monstrosity in a good way of a card here. This thing flips too. It's a battle. It starts with 4 battle points. What are we calling it? Battle points?
War invasion point? I don't know what they are.
Yeah.
I'm sure Wizards of the Coast has an official name.
We'll call it battle points for now, okay? And then that'll act as the health of the battle itself. So combat starts with 4. You put it on your opponent, and then once that's gone, this thing's going to flip into Marquesa. Resolute Monarch. It is a 3/6 legendary human noble with menace and death touch, so that's noteworthy. The death touch is extra noteworthy because of how much toughness it has. It makes it pretty hard to kill in combat, and it makes it a great blocker. And not a bad attacker either when it has menace. So, when Marquesa attacks, remove all counters from up to 1 target permanent. Okay, your Planeswalker dies. Okay, your Archfiend of the Dross has 0 counters on it. You die on your upkeep. What else? Okay, all that conniving you did with Rafine, done. This thing does a lot. This does a lot for your 6 mana. You're gonna really get paid for you're gonna get rewarded for your troubles here. So, invoke into this is just crazy. It's ridiculous. It's mean. It's just what we want. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you haven't been dealt combat damage since your last turn, you draw a card and you lose a life. And that, I'm telling you, it's probably going to be easy because you have this 3/6 death touch creature sitting there daring things to attack you. It's like he's like Marquesa is like the I wish the motherfucker would, because it starts off as a board wipe and then it turns into that.
The thing about a menace death touch is that you have to sacrifice 2 creatures to block it.
Yeah, and they're both going to die.
They're both going to die. So
unless one of them has first strike for like 6 damage or more.
Show me that card. You're already in a good position if you got a 6 damage or more first strike, you're out.
Yeah. So you're already like I'm probably not attacking into you if you have that to begin with.
Yeah.
So, and I'm probably not blocking with Marquesa in that sense anyway. So yeah. Sick card. Marquesa's great. It is 6 mana, a little expensive, but Blood on the Snow is 6 mana too. So, we'll see. Path of Peril, Cleaved is 6 mana. So it's not the end of the world. It's also cool because it allows us to not have to splash white anymore for Path of Peril. So the mana gets a little easier for me at least.
All right. But not a bad one. I like her. I'm probably going to end up playing her too on the high end.
Yeah.
So next I have none other than a red card and a little unknown Praetor, which I think that has been underutilized. This card is just called Urabrask. No other names. He just is Urabrask. He was the Heretic Praetor. He actually didn't agree with Elish Norn when she did her invasion. He just wanted to do the great works. He's a crazy fire-looking dinosaur Phyrexian Praetor, and he is powerful. This is the new set of Praetors that is coming in here, and he really brings it because he's a flippable one. So let me tell you about him. Two red and 2 Phyrexian Praetor. So he's a 4-drop, 4/4 first strike. Okay, already good. Yep, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, he deals 1 damage to target opponent, and you add 1 red mana.
Extra good.
So you're ramping and casting spells and dealing extra damage. Then you pay 1, exile him, then return it to the battlefield, transport it under its owner's control, activate only if a sorcery, and only if you've cast 3 or more instants or sorceries this spells this turn. Not hard for a spell slinger deck to do. What does his flip side say? It says the Great Work. This is a saga. The Great Work on Saga 1 deals 3 damage to target opponent and each creature they control. Okay, so that's a possible board wipe for the entire people over there, because it's 3 damage to them and all their creatures. Create 3 treasure tokens, huge ramp, and then on the 3rd spot, until the end of the next turn, you may cast instant and sorcery spells from any graveyard. If a spell cast this way would be put into a graveyard, exile the great work instead, exile it in instead, exile great work, then return to the battlefield flipped. Okay. Guys, you just got 3 treasure tokens, which you can sack for any mana. You could cast all of the spells you got to get this out to begin with. You could cast all your burns and then steal somebody's invoke. If you're running Rakdos or something like that, steal somebody's direct removal. Any instant or sorcery spell that they have, card draw, whatever, you are going to rip them up. The amount of stuff this card does is absurd. I mean, this has like every ability in the world on it. It has a board wipe, it has token generation, card stealing, it has whenever you cast a spell, you get mana and do damage. It has first strike, and it's a 4/4 creature. Are you kidding me? Value in this guy. Good Lord.
Yeah, and if you want to compare it to something, obviously we know it's like the best Urabrask we've probably ever seen.
Probably.
We already know that to begin with. But it's also something to consider is what is the other 4-drop that is the exact same casting cost, even with like the mana symbols and all that. It's Thundering Raiju. And Thundering Raiju is a decent 4-drop creature, but it is nowhere near the power level of Urabrask.
No. The power level's off the scales. Yeah.
So now this is your top end for mono red. Well, and I guess it kind of depends. Thundering Raiju has haste, so if you want to be that aggressive, sure. But you could all go like a little mid-rangey with red now, and not run out of gas. I think that's what's really important here, is a lot of these red decks. Once they run out of gas, that's it. Well, this guy's gonna help make sure you don't run out of gas, and if he's not dealt with, he can make sure that you never run out of gas.
Yeah. So, you can keep flipping him, so.
Yeah, hell of a card. And like Jay said, can be played in Rakdos too. Steal your opponent's invoke. I feel like that's going to be happening a lot, especially when you're getting 3 tokens anyway. You only need 1 black source out. Just a light splash of black would allow you to recast an opponent's invoke, and that's absurd, So yeah, sick card. We're glad Urabrask. We're glad they put some respect on his name.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've been waiting for a good one of his cards. He's really been. He's the Heretic Praetor, so it feels like he's been left out, but he's finally doing it.
Yeah, he's got something. Well, staying on that Rakdos school of thought, I will do my number 1.
Okay. Rakdos school of thought.
Yep, she is a beast. This is Ayara.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. Ayara, Widow of the Realm, and this is just right up the alley for Jay and I. And he let me go first with who my number 1's going to be, and that's where he fucked up, because I chose Ayara, and he was going to choose Ayara. But anyway, Ayara comes out as a 3-mana 3/3. Usually Ayara has like decent stats to begin with. Usually you're not leaving much to be desired there. She is an elf noble, as she was previously. Now she has a tap ability. Sacrifice another creature or artifact. Ayara, Widow of the Realm, deals X damage to target opponent or battle, and you gain X life, where X is the sacrifice permanent's mana value. So we have a Phyrexian Flesh Gorger, 7 mana. We have our Portal to Phyrexia, 9 mana. Just ridiculous. You pay 6 to transform her. Do it only as a sorcery. Beginning of combat on your turn, return up to 1 target artifact or creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste. Exile it at the beginning of the next end step. So that Portal to Phyrexia you just sacked, yeah, you're going to have to exile next turn, but just bring it back real quick and make them get rid of 3 more creatures on your upkeep, so you can swing in for lethal with your newly flipped 4/4 and whatever else you have on the board. Maybe you cast and invoke that turn also. Who knows? So yeah, she can be flipped for 6 mana, 5 colorless, and 1 red, or the Phyrexian mana. So it doesn't have to be Rakdos if you don't want it to be. Do I recommend it? Possibly, because you might be able to get some like Power Stone stuff going to do the transformation, or possibly, and then cast, maybe you could even hard cast your portal with these Power Stones, or you could also just maybe you get like treasures. Maybe you can play like big score now, or the cards that let you pitch a card that you're going to reanimate and then draw more and then get tokens out of it. That just kind of all helps, you know. So maybe to have the discard outlets, you do want to play a little red, splash a little bit. Not to mention you can play Fable if you do that. So seems like playing this in Rakdos would be rewarded, but technically could be played in mono black. I think she's great. I can see her even being a commander. I think it's a phenomenal card. There's also you know, things like there's Deadly Dispute. So it says exile at the beginning of the next end. Well, I mean, I'm thinking like alchemy and whatever now. Yeah. But you know, there's stuff, you know, sacrifice an artifact, whatever. You sacrifice that artifact, you know, with like the flip side, it doesn't have to get exiled then, and then you can bring it back next turn again. You know what I mean? It just keeps going. And then, you know, something we haven't mentioned yet with these transformation cards is you can flip them. Once they flip, you can play the other side and then have both sides out. So what you could combo with having both sides of these out is you get the Ayara out and then you reanimate that portal, then you sack it. That's 9 mana. It goes back to the graveyard. The Furnace Queen reanimates it, and then you just keep going. You just keep doing it. It's 9. You lose 9. I gain 9 every turn, and you lose 3 creatures every turn.
Yeah,
you tell me how ridiculous. That's fair. Yeah, tell me how that's fair.
The amount of this is one of those cards that just has a ridiculous potential for tomfoolery. Like,
yeah,
there are so many tricks that you're going to be able to pull off with this thing. It's just going to be really. It's going to be it's one of those cards you're going to see hit the battlefield. You're going to be like, oh no, oh god, oh, it's an Ayara. I have to appreciate the art here because her previous art was also her just standing on her balcony drinking wine, and being a boss. In the new art, she's literally just doing the same thing despite the invasion going on, and looks just completely disdainful. Like this is like
unbothered.
She's like, oh, sky portals with metal tentacles. Oh, this certainly will ruin my afternoon. Like, she does not give a shit. She's been on her balcony drinking wine in every situation. So, and
then if you piss her off, she turns into the Furnace Queen.
Exactly. So, just on some boss bitch shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. She's great. She's great.
Good stuff. Well, I guess I'll go for my last one before we announce our master card.
Yeah, let's do
it should be no surprise. I'm actually I'm conflicted about this one because honestly, I didn't even want to choose it, but I'm like, I can see this card is gonna just power through people. Like it's just gonna it's a win con. At least that's my guess, and that is gonna be the new Elish Norn. Just Elish Norn, straight name. I don't think very many people used the previous. The first Elish Norn people did use because everyone got +2 and everyone else got -2. Mother of Machines, I don't know if that many people used. Grand Cenobite people did, but this is just Elish Norn, just her name. 2 white and 2, 3/5 vigilance. Listen to this. Whenever a source an opponent controls deals damage to you or a permanent you control, that source's controller loses 2 life unless they pay 1 mana.
Wow.
So if they try to do something like Brotherhood's End and clear your board, if they don't have mana to pay for it, they're just going to take 2 life for all the damage they did.
To each permanent.
To each creature. If you had 5 mites on the board, they have to pay 5 mana or lose 10 life. I mean, you tell me how that's fair, man.
It's like an ultimate trump card. You're like mana tithing.
Yeah.
Playing the game, basically. Not just casting, like mana tithing, just essential phases of the game.
If you attack with a swarm of mites, if they're blocking, all of those mites are getting injured. Guess what?
Yeah.
Every single one of them has to be paid. Every single one has to be paid, or it's 2 life. Man, listen, that's not good. If you're already playing it with things like like I previously mentioned, Invasion of Gobokomba, what's his name? Gobakon? and you're already mana locking certain cards out, you're already costing them more mana, you're already slowing them down, trying to run Death and Taxes with something like this, they're going to lose to the damage, man. They're just going to get tapped out. They're going to lose to the damage. It's going to be bad. That's not the end, guys. 2 white, 2 and 1 white, sacrifice 3 other creature, and then she becomes the Argent Etchings, which is her saga form. Incubate 2 5 times, then transform all incubator tokens you control. That basically means you make a Phyrexian artifact that is a 2/2 and immediately pops out of its shell as a 2/2 Phyrexian artifact. That's turn 1. Next turn, creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain double strike until the end of turn. That's a kill right there, guys. You have 5 3/3 double strikes going in. Do you know how much damage that is? So that's 3 5/5 double strikes. I mean, that's 5 3/3 double strikes. Yeah, it's 3 5 times 10 times. So
and then times 2.
Yeah, so it's ridiculous. It's absurd. So it's 30 points of damage if you have no blockers. So that's a kill unless you can block. And then for dessert, we're getting destroy all other permanents except for artifacts, lands, and Phyrexians. Exile Argent Etchings and return it to the battlefield front face up. It turns back into Elesh Norn. So if you're not running a Phyrexian deck, which we are, obviously, we have Phyrexian incubated tokens on there. Everyone else is dead. All the enchantments are dead. Only artifacts, Phyrexians, and lands survive. You're back into it, man. You're right back into Elesh Norn. It's bad.
There's our Orzhov Phyrexians.
Yeah, it's got 2 win cons in it. Like, it has the tax out win con, it has the double strike win con, and that's just yikes, bro.
And the flipping seems pretty cheap.
The flipping, yeah, you just have to sacrifice 3 things. If you're running a might deck, should be pretty easy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's phenomenal. And it is, once again, if you get it flipped and then you pay, and then the next turn you play another Elesh Norn, you're swinging in with those creatures that demand to be blocked. Maybe you can kill some of them, but if they're dealt damage, because you have enough blockers, well, now you gotta pay mana, or you're still gonna lose life.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, it's terrible. Oh, we're having a Snickers break.
Yeah, sorry, Snickers needs some treats.
Yeah.
But yeah, Elesh Norn, this is probably stronger than the one that they just dropped, I would say.
Oh yeah, it's much better than Mother of Machines.
Yeah. All will be one, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, crazy card. And then our number 1, our top 1.
Our number 0 S rank.
S tier, S rank.
Can you guess what it is?
It's another one. And we're not choosing Jin-Gitaxias.
No,
and
we're not.
The Verinclex wasn't that strong this time.
Oh, no, he was not.
So it has to be Sheoldred. And it is Sheoldred. And that's what we chose. And we've done this before. We just accept that she is the best one.
She is the best one.
This is probably the best one, I think. It's going to be 4/5 Menace for 5. ETB. Each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature or planeswalker. 5 mana, flip it. Only activate as a sorcery. Only if an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard, notably. For each opponent, destroy up to 1 target creature or planeswalker that player controls. So it's also dually really good in Commander. Hell of a Commander card.
Yeah.
Each opponent discards 3 cards, then mills 3 cards. Put all creatures from all graveyards onto the battlefield under your control. Exile the True Scriptures, which is the flip side of Sheoldred, and then you will return it back face up. So reanimate everything everywhere onto the board. It's all yours now, and then Sheoldred's right back as well.
So it's
and then she ETBs, and then you sacrifice another creature or planeswalker.
Death. She is death.
It's really
Death
good.
Is her name. If you're not running this in something like imagine running this late game, even after one of your invasions of Fiora, and you've wiped the board, and you can flip this. after board wiping mid game or a long game or something like that. This just loads the graveyard. I mean, it loads the graveyard to death. It's going to sacrifice. It's going to kill. You're just going to run kill cards, destruction. And then all of a sudden, more sacrifice, more mill, more discard. You're just loading the graveyard. And then you finish. Everyone is mine.
It's beautiful. And Commander, other formats where there's more than 2 players.
Good Lord.
Your two-headed giant, your whatever, gladiator, whatever you're playing. Your tag team standard that you can even play. I know that's a format where you just have like 2-person teams with a 60-card deck. Just a very ridiculous card.
Absolutely.
So we love it. We love Sheoldred. We're very happy that Sheoldred's here.
We stand a forever
one.
Queen.
Yeah, and that she's that powerful.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
We love her.
It's ridiculous, and we love her. and one of the biggest reasons that it's also good is because out of all the Praetors that were already there, Sheoldred is doing the best right now already as it is. The Elish Norn from All Will Be One did not do that great. The Sheoldred is deemed to be the 4-drop Sheoldred is deemed to be the best black card. It's the most expensive one. It overtook Meathook. The special art versions are going for over $100 on that card.
Mm-hmm.
It is the best black card, and decks are splashing black just to play her because they realize that if you don't and your opponent has one on the board and you can't deal with it, then you're probably just going to lose. And she's part of what makes Grixis so good, Rakdos, this and that. And she's what makes those decks have such a heavy commitment to black, to the point where then they also just play Invoke Despair. So she influences the meta so much, and it's far beyond just mono black. She is arguably the best card in the game right now.
Yeah.
Every deck when it's made, you have to make that decision when you make a deck. Am I going to be able to deal with Sheoldred? Do I feel like I have to deal with Sheoldred? Do I just accept that I lose to Sheoldred? It's something that's going to cross your mind every time you make a deck. You have to think about her. She demands it.
Oh yeah.
And not just in a way that she's asking you to. She's forcing you to. It's a forced demand.
She needs to be done.
Not a request.
No.
It's not a request. So, yeah. And then so you go 4-drop Sheoldred into 5-drop Sheoldred. Like we've been saying tell me how that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me how that's fair. It's not fair.
Imagine casting 4-drop Sheoldred into 5-drop Sheoldred.
Yep. It's just terrible. And then we have our battle. We could choose non-legendary and then just keep our Sheoldreds.
Oh my goodness.
Just have those on the board. We could cast Corrupt. We could just cast the Invoke that we were waiting to cast because we wanted to just have 2 Sheoldreds out.
Mm-hmm.
All kinds of stuff, man. And it is ridiculous. And that Invoke is also going to help get more things in your graveyard, which is going to help us flip this Sheoldred as well. So it just all plays together. It just all works out really well. Black's going to kill a lot of stuff. And that's what we're here to do.
We're here to kill.
And that's what we're going to do.
In Magic cards.
We love this
YouTube.
Card.
In Magic cards. In a video game. Not in real life.
Unless we're using the real life paper cards.
Well, yeah, that too. Yeah.
But yes, that.
Pretty
so
good.
Yeah, Sheoldred's phenomenal.
And again, guys, we're gonna have early access. I mean, sorry. What is it called? Early access? What did I call it wrong?
Yeah. Early access, yeah.
Early access. We're gonna have early access. We're gonna be called pre-release. I know, I called it pre-release. You'll be able to see all of this if you come join us on Twitch, on YouTube, or anywhere you can find me and Numbskull. We'll be doing it all day. I know I'm gonna clear my schedule to get early access. You'll be able to get anything that you like We'll be able to see all of this stuff. Really super excited about it. It's the first time either of us have been. So we're super stoked for it.
Yeah, it's going to be phenomenal.
So if you have a question, if you have a request, the card that you want to see, what is your top 5 cards? I want to see some top 5 lists in the comments, in the chat.
Yeah.
Let us know. Do you like what we chosen? Do you hate it? What are you thinking? Did we miss a gold, a treasure that didn't pop? Let us know.
Yeah, and then feel free to throw some top 5s in our council Discord as well for all patrons and guests of the podcast. Because that's obviously like a good place where we could kind of bounce ideas off of one another, and people are going to be making deck lists and this and that. So definitely get those up there. We'll see what we think of your list, and if that gives us ideas, if we feel silly that we forgot something or whatever, we'll definitely look into all that. But yeah, we think this is going to be a hell of a set, and I think I speak for both of us when we say that we're ready for war.
We're ready for war. We're ready for the march.
Yeah.
We are ready for that march of machines. We're going.
Yeah, the next episode, I guess it's going to be. Did you find out what day early access is? Because I didn't hear anything about it.
The 14th. 13th, okay. 13th to 14th.
Okay.
So early access is going to be 13th. I think we're both on the East Coast, so it's going to be 12 noon till like 12 noon the next day.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, and there's going to be best of 1 all day, direct challenges. There's going to be sealed drafts. There's going to be a couple format. We're not big drafters, so I don't know how much we'd want to even spend time on that. But I know I'm going to be building some cards. We're going to we may even do a live Black Council that day and do some. We might even be able to co-stream and do some stuff. We're going to work on it for next week. Yeah. So we're going to get you some content, and we're going to get you some early stuff. So if we do it on Thursday, the 13th or 14th, we'll have generally the Black Councils go up Saturday. We'll have some early release stuff by Saturday or Sunday before the launch on Tuesday. So you'll be able to see some preview stuff just by following us here at the Black Council, becoming a channel member. You'll be able to see it a day early if you join our Patreon and make requests. Yeah. If you want to see something, make a request. We'll do it. We'll do our best. And our merch is out there. Forgot to plug our merch.
Oh, yeah. The merch. I think, did you say you're going to put some videos of people with the merch, or do you want to do that at a different time? Or
yeah, well, I put some pictures up, but we should.
Oh, you did? Videos. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got a couple of guys with the jackets, the hats, and everything else. They look pretty good.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't post pictures of myself with it because I don't show up in photographs.
I need to order a piece of merch here, and then I can maybe I'll get. I don't know what I'll get. I'll have to grab something, and I can put up.
You need the beanie? You want the beanie or the flat brim?
Yeah. Well, if I wear a hat, it's gonna be a beanie for sure.
Okay.
But
you want the champion jacket?
It's like, I might need that champion jacket. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the only issue now is it's like it's like 70 degrees over here. On this side of the East Coast.
Okay. Yeah.
70, 80 degrees every day now, man.
It's polyester. It's like a raincoat, so you might be able to get it in the rain.
Yeah, I might catch April showers bring May flowers. I might be able to catch it on a day where it's raining and represent the council real quick. We'll see what's up.
We'll see what's up. Okay, well, absolutely. So that's our top 10 guys, our top 11, however you want to slice it. I think we're gonna call this meeting of the Black Council to a close. Anything else, Numbskull?
No, that's it. Thank you guys so much for being here. We really appreciate you guys, all the patrons and everything. And like I said, be ready for that early access.
Or pre-release, either one.
Whatever it's going to be ready for it. You're going to see us playing with these new cards before
anybody else.
Other people can.
Yep. We're super stoked. We want to thank Wizards for letting us into that too, by the way. We really do appreciate it.
We finally got blessed.
We did. All right. Well, I'm going to call this meeting of the episode. I'm going to call this episode of the Black Council to a close. I've been Jay Villainy. You've been great. With me, as always, is my co-host, the numbest of skulls, Numbskull. Our Patreon is right there. Our Twitch is right there. Check us out. Go follow us. That's all we got, guys. Until next time, I've been Jay Villainy. You're great. This meeting
Take care, guys.
is closed. Adios, everyone. Good night.